Let's talk a bit today about how we choose our concealed carry weapons and some of the considerations that we might go through as we're picking not only our concealed carry weapon, but also where and how to carry it. So, before we even get into that, the first step is you need to be honest with yourself. You need to know, am I willing to carry a weapon? Am I willing to use it should the need arise? If you are, then you can continue, but you need to make sure that you're comfortable with that. Some of us aren't. I know my wife isn't. I know some of my friends aren't, and that's fine. They don't need to carry. This is for people who choose to. So have a serious discussion with your significant other, with yourself. Figure out if you're willing to carry and use your weapon should the need arise. The next step, you need to take a look at yourself physically. We're not all built the same. I'm 2'10" and 6 foot. My build is not your build. Some of you are going to be shorter or taller, have more weight, or be a lot skinnier. It doesn't matter. There's always ways around that, but you need to take a look at your build, your physical characteristics, any physical limitations you may have. Maybe you have a reason, a surgical issue, a medical issue where your shoulder's messed up and you can't use your right arm as well as your left. Take that into consideration. Maybe you're unable to reach behind your back. So that would rule out a position of carry behind your back. So take those things into consideration, think about them, think about what works. The next thing that I think is important is you need to figure out a weapon that you're comfortable with. And that makes sense. Just because you can carry something doesn't mean it's appropriate. I jokingly had that MPX out here. It's technically a pistol, and just because I can conceal it doesn't mean I should. Same thing with that Smith & Wesson revolver. It's not really a good choice. Or a .22 is not really a good choice for concealed carry. When it comes to choosing the firearm that you're going to use for concealed carry, there's a few things I take into consideration. I personally want a 9mm, and I shoot some platforms better than others. I'm better with the 1911 platform. I'm more familiar with it. I like the manual of arms. I like the ergonomics of it. So my choice will tend to fall along the lines of a variety of a 1911 or 2011 or something similar, right? And from there, I go ahead and I find something that is sized appropriate. I initially had wanted to carry the smallest pistol that I could find. Talking it through, I had a good friend that pointed out something to me. His take was, carry the largest pistol that you can conceal. And the reasoning behind that was, the larger pistols you can typically shoot better. Simply, I'm more accurate with a larger pistol, and most of you will be too. You would also get the added benefit of additional capacity, which means I don't have to carry a spare magazine. It's one less thing to carry. So, after having that discussion and giving it a try, I've switched. And now I really am a firm believer in that line of thought. The carry the largest pistol that you can conceal as opposed to the smallest one that you can find. Your personal opinion is going to vary, but it also helps that where I'm at, doesn't matter if I'm concealed or not. The law doesn't state that I have to remain concealed. Some states require that, in which case the concealability becomes a much more important factor. Out here, it doesn't make any difference. I'm not in any legal trouble if my firearm is printing or somehow someone sees it. It doesn't make a difference. But that's one thing to consider. So figure out where you fall on that line. Do you really care about the concealability, or would you rather have more ammo and something that you're potentially more accurate with. One of the other things to consider is, along the lines of accuracy is I'm responsible for what happens when a bullet leaves my gun. Should I ever have to use it, I better hit what I'm intending to hit. I better not miss and go and harm some innocent bystander. So to me, that is much more important than the ultimate in concealability, right? What I did is I went and I have a number of firearms that are, fit the bill 9mm 1911 style, and I want to figure out what I can conceal and comfortably carry. And the key there is you need to be able to comfortably carry it comfortably enough so that you will actually carry it. It doesn't do you any good if you leave it at home. So if you're going to carry, do it every day. It's just like wearing your seatbelt in your car. Buckle up before I leave the garage. Every time. Make it a habit. So you want something that you're going to use all the time. So for me, like I said, I like the 1911s. There's a few of them that I went ahead and I use. So we'll show you these. I've got a 2011. This thing's about the size of a Glock 19. This is the STI DVC carry. I've got the STI Staccato P, very similar to that DVC carry, except the grip is smaller in length, and it's got a rounded end. It's also single stack, so less capacity. I believe it's 9 rounds versus 17 or 18 rounds, so half the capacity. Barrel's the same. It works. The other one that I tend to use, the SIG 938, the P938. Not technically a 1911, but the controls are similar. And it's very small. This thing is about the size of a Glock 42, Glock 43. So very small, very compact, single stack, 7 rounds of capacity. So those are the 3 that I choose to carry. Once you've narrowed down the firearm that you're going to use, I would suggest taking a look at your options for where to carry. And this is done, in my opinion, before you even go get the holster. Just take an unloaded weapon and see a couple of different positions. Maybe you like appendix, or you like strong side, or you want small at the back. Try them out. See what's going to work. So before you go ahead and go buy holsters, I would say take your gun and check it out. See if this position is going to work for you. Does that work? For me, I know this one works. You can see that it's going to print, and you need to figure out if that's going to be good for you. Maybe strong side is a better option for you, so go ahead and tuck it in there and see if that works. You can check that out, see, where the outline is, and see if you can actually reach that if you need to. Can you draw from there if you had to? Maybe you like the small of the back option, so try that. See if that's going to work for you. Again, small of back. It conceals well, which is a good thing, but can you reach back there and draw if you need to? So explore your options. Take a look at them. Keep in mind that just because something works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Our body types are all different. Like I said, I'm 6 foot, 210 pounds. I've got a little bit of a belly here. I don't have a six-pack. I'm not, the picture-perfect athlete. Some of you are going to be very much more on that athletic side of things, and some of you are going to be a lot bigger than I am. So take a look at your body type and see what's going to work. There's plenty of YouTube videos and demonstrations for skinny guys and big guys and guys in between, and gals, so that you know your options. If you're really a small person, if you're 5 foot and 90 pounds, you're not going to conceal this double stack very well, and you might have to, just by your body type, go to something smaller. If you're a bigger dude, maybe appendix carry doesn't work for you. If your belly's in the way, you're not going to be able to draw. So it might not be comfortable, or it might not be possible. So you need to see what's going to work for you and your body type. There is no hard and fast rules. You just need to find something that's going to work for you. That's the important part. I like appendix carry for a number of reasons. I like the access. This is quick and easy access. It's right here. I find it comfortable to carry in this location. It doesn't bother me. A lot of people are concerned and think that when you sit down it pinches. I don't find that to be the case. Even with a 4-inch barrel or an 1/2-inch barrel, I'm not getting pinched. I'm not getting bothered by it. So I can carry appendix, and I can sit down, and I can be fine. Now, I notice this is here. Don't get me wrong. But it's comfortable enough, and I can wear this all day without any issues. Appendix carry also lets me remain in control of my firearm. If I'm in a confrontation with someone, they're going to likely be in front of me. I can see them if they happen to go for my weapon, and I can do something about it and draw. If it is behind me, I don't have eyes in the back of my head. I can't see someone behind me. So theoretically, someone could, if they knew I had a weapon on me, they could get it from me before I could prevent them from getting it. Another thing that I don't like is if I'm taken by surprise and someone is on top of me, I have a much better chance of pushing them off and creating enough room to draw while they're on top of me from the front than I do if they're on top of me and trying to lift my body plus theirs and still somehow get my weapon from behind me. There's a lot of reasons why I choose to carry appendix that may or may not apply to you. So kind of think that through. Think of your options and see what you're comfortable with, what you're okay with. Once you've decided on the location that you think you want to carry on, go ahead and pick up a holster or two and see if it's going to work. So let's go ahead and grab something and see what we have. I've got, this is a G-code holster, appendix, made for my DVC carry. Well, not exactly made for it, but it fits it. I had to modify it. So, get it in. You need a good strong belt. Cinch that up. And go ahead and try this position. Make sure it's going to work. So, in a holster, the DVC carry, which is about the size of a Glock 19, conceals well enough for my purposes. I'm okay with that. I'm sure you can see, when I stretch that shirt, you can see I've got that grip can kind of print. When you're just wearing something normally, it's really not too bad. So maybe you're not comfortable with that, then get something smaller. I'm fine with it. Like I said, I've got this holster on. The barrel goes down to here. And I can sit comfortably. One thing that I find is, if I'm bending over far enough to put shoes on, this is going to begin to dig. So I put my shoes on beforehand. And if I need to, get down on the ground or pick something up from the ground, I would just drop to a knee and then get down to there. So your mobility can kind of be restricted to an extent. But figure out what works for you, what doesn't. So, now that you've got your holster, again, figure out what works, practice drawing, make sure you have access. Make sure that you practice your draw with your clothes, and make sure that's going to work for you. If that doesn't work, then try something else. So, another option that I had, again, appendix. This is a Stealth Gear holster for that P938. Same position. And much more concealed. So, stretch the shirt. You can see this is where the grip is right there. Much easier to conceal. Barrel doesn't drop down as far. This is a lot more comfortable. But I choose to carry something larger because I shoot it better and I like the added capacity. Something that you need to take into consideration and figure out what's going to work for you. So, another thing that we need to think about when we're considering concealed carry is our daily activities. So, if you spend a lot of time sitting in a car, the position you carry is going to be different, and maybe you actually want to take it off your body and place it, in your center console or in between your seat while you're driving. I don't subscribe to that. I want it on me. It's on body. I do not like off-body carry. So for me, I'm going to wear something that when I get in my car, I can still sit comfortably. Strong side and small back don't work for me in my car. I don't, I'm not comfortable with them there. So an appendix really is a comfortable position for me. A lot of people express concern with appendix carry. They think that you have a higher risk of shooting yourself. I'm not terribly concerned about that because I follow proper discipline. The safety is on, until I have drawn and presenting it at a target. The safety goes on as soon as I am ready. I have it here, I put the safety on, and then I'll put it back in. You're paying attention to what you're doing, and I think that risk is minimized. If you're uncomfortable with appendix, then don't carry appendix. So one more thing you may want to consider when choosing a firearm for concealed carry purposes is the cost of that weapon. How much money do you have tied up in it? The reality is, if you ever have to use it, the police are going to take it, and you may get it back. You'll probably get it back in the long run, but it might take quite some time. Maybe it's 6 months, a year or two before you get it back. So we don't typically want to have a lot of money tied up into something that could be taken away from us. So consider that. Again, it's a personal situation thing where some people can't afford to have $500 tied up. Others couldn't care less if they have $10,000 tied up. That's up to you. You need to make that call and figure out what you're comfortable with. And it's a risk issue, and you need to figure out where you fall in that. Anyway, I hope this has been useful. Take care. We'll do it again another day.